What's up everyone? Tim Gillette here, Morningstar Jiu Jitsu, and today I just want to do a quick video on how to accelerate your learning in Jiu Jitsu. Some of the best ways that you can get better a little bit more quickly is number one, to live roll. You have to be rolling live. Rolling live is the only way you're really going to learn timing. You're going to gain that hypersensitivity on people's balance and where they're moving so you can get your sweeps. It also teaches you your breathing. The difficulty of maintaining your breathing in a bad position can only be done when you're rolling live. And you also need to get used to pressure. You need to get used to having somebody on top of you, somebody smothering you a little bit, having somebody on your chest, knee on belly. And if you have good training partners, you're not just going to get your ass kicked, but they're going to apply that pressure. They're going to make you learn how to breathe, and you can really work on that timing. So number one, you have to live roll. It's the only way you're really going to learn the timing, especially against a resisting opponent. You're going to learn how to deal with that pressure on top of you, and you're going to learn how to maintain your breathing, especially when you're in a bad position, right? So number two, in my opinion, for how to accelerate your jiu-jitsu is training with a purpose. People will find themselves in a little bit of a rut, or they'll plateau, and typically that happens because they're coming in and they're just going through the motions. They're kind of doing the same thing, the same rolls, they're trying the same techniques, and you have to come in with a purpose. Something I used to do is I used to pick two things, one submission and one position to work on, and I would really focus on those for like 6 months at a time. I would pick arm triangle chokes and back takes, or maintaining the back. And that's what I would try to get to the whole time I'm rolling. So I kind of made it like a little game. You have to try to have a purpose and work towards something when you're rolling. And that really helps you develop that area of your game. And then after 6 months, if you find, hey, I'm catching these arm triangles, I'm getting to the back, now move on to something else. Now you want to work on your triangle chokes or your mount. And no matter what, even if you see an arm triangle or see a rear naked choke, you pass it up and instead you transition to the mount, or you try to transition to a triangle choke. And you just focus on that, and that will really develop that part of your game. And you'll find that one, if you're stuck on a plateau or a little bit of a rut, it'll help you get through that. And two, it'll just keep training kind of new. So you're not just going through the motions and doing everything repetitively and kind of getting stuck right there. So that's number two. Number three, you have to get tapped. Train with people who are going to tap you, right? Don't be scared to try new things. I had a student who really got good at jiu-jitsu pretty quickly, and the one thing I noticed that was different was he would try all of the new things that we just learned. If he just learned a new technique in class, when I watched him live roll, he would try that technique right away in live rolling against every belt, white, purple, brown, whatever. And even if the technique failed because he just learned it and he got tapped by a white belt, he didn't care, even though he was a purple belt at the time. He didn't care. He would go back and he would try it again, try it again. So he really had no ego as far as getting tapped. He didn't care if he got tapped by lower belts, and he just went out there and just tried something new that he had just learned to see if it worked for him, if it fit in his game, and that really accelerated his learning, I found. He got good very quickly, and it helped him develop his game, so he kind of knew what he was going to use and what he was going to just kind of toss away pretty quickly there. So getting tapped, you have to get tapped. Don't be afraid to tap. Get out there. Try new stuff, get tapped by lower belts, it doesn't matter, all right? And the last thing that I really did that helped me a lot was videotaping myself. I used to, I started back in 2006, and I used to put a little camcorder on the side of the mat in the corner, and I would always try to roll in that corner with different partners. And I would go home and watch those videos and see things that I didn't even realize I was doing. Somebody would catch me at the same submission over and over and over, and I could kind of watch it and see what I was doing wrong and try to make changes the next time I would roll. So that really accelerated my jiu-jitsu, I thought, right there. and develop parts of my game. And I would do things that I didn't even realize I was doing that were working and were the right things. And I would recognize it, and that would stick it in my head, so I made sure I was doing those things. It wasn't just like on accident that I was doing it. So videotaping yourself, I think that really can help quite a bit, rolling with different people and re-watching the tapes later on. I used to drive an hour when I was teaching at Gracie Baja, and every time I would roll with someone there, the whole hour drive home, I would run through my rolls in my head anyway. But you can't really remember everything. So you'd sit there and try to analyze while you're driving, but you can't remember everything. But if you have video of it, now you can go home, you can re-watch it, you can analyze it, you can see what you did right, see what you did wrong, make changes, come back. And again, that kind of falls back into training with a purpose. All right, so now you watch that video, you saw mistakes, things you did wrong, you make changes. The next time you come back to class, now you're training with that purpose to not make those same mistakes. You might find yourself in the same position, and you try not to make those same mistakes, and from there you grow and you get better. So those are kind of my 4 ways that I think you can accelerate your jiu-jitsu game. Live rolling, you have to do that, right? Training with a purpose. Every time you come into class, make sure you're not just going through the motions. Train with a purpose. Get tapped. Doesn't matter if it's a lower belt or whatever. And what that means is you're trying new things, right? You're not just always playing that A game. Trying new things, getting tapped, doesn't matter, right? We're all on the same team. Doesn't matter if you get tapped in the gym. And the last one I recommend, videotape yourself. Set up your phone in the corner. Ask your partner if it's okay if you record your roll. Roll with your partner. Watch the tape later. Analyze it. See what you did right. See what you did wrong. And that will really show you where you need to make adjustments. Then come back the next class. Train with a purpose. Make those adjustments. Get tapped again. Videotape it, make the adjustments, and repeat, and you're just going to get better and better and better and accelerate your jiu-jitsu game. So those are my 4 tips. Give those a try. See if after 6 months you're noticing you're kind of moving up a little bit quicker, or if you're stuck in a rut, then I definitely recommend trying out some of these. This is how you can kind of break through that plateau, get out of that rut, and accelerate your game up to the next level. Okay? Take care, guys.